I signed 2 high-ticket clients using this same exact email strategy that I'm about to explain in this video to you. And I made over $109,000 in profit when I kept these clients over a couple of years. So I'm going to break down all of it, the entire strategy, the entire script, and by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to use email to sign your next client for your agency. This is a live recording between me and one of my coaching students, great guy who has been already running an email marketing agency for about a decade. And he's been asking me some great questions, probably the same questions that you would have about this topic as well. So let's dive right into it.
Or if it's possible, you could share with me like an email that you sent to somebody that did convert. That would be really good, because whatever you're doing there, it works. So if I could just see.
Yeah.
Magic you got there.
So what I did what I did last time when you told me about it is I looked up, so what I do, I specifically register a new email account just for this one purpose. So it's not going to be any email I've used before. I literally go to GMX or Gmail or Outlook and set it up and just use that so that it's very clean. That means my inbox is just 20 emails I've sent to these 20 businesses, for example, and then nothing else. We'll basically recreate the email to let you know what I did. But this specific case, it was for gyms and fitness centers. I will recreate this email. I will actually create an A/B test, so like both versions. But what I did, I can tell you on the call, and then I will write it down later.
Okay.
I actually asked a question, and here is the psychology behind this. If you just ask a genuine question, people are much more likely to respond back to you, as if psychology is really powerful in this situation. Instead of asking them for something like a favor. If you ask somebody for a favor, of course, you want something from them. But in this case, you can also argue, hey, you want something from them, an answer, but you are asking them about something in their specific business. So I actually just reached out and I said, I'm analyzing gyms in Zurich, and I've realized, to my surprise, you guys are not running any ads. I'm just curious why. And that's it. So I gave some context. I'm analyzing gyms, which for them it's like, aha, so this guy, he may, if I reply, he may give me some extra nuggets, information that could be valuable to me. And that was all. And then of course I also had replies like, yeah, we are like sold out all the time. We just don't need ads. So then I reply, I say, yeah, thanks for the info. Very interesting. And I don't keep selling them because it's not really necessary in that situation. It doesn't really make any sense. If they really say, hey, we're booked out, the only thing you can say is, well, why don't you open a second gym? But that takes time and that's not an ideal client to have. Yeah. So that means everybody who replied and was like, oh yeah, that's actually interesting. You are right. But we tried in the past, Then I can go on the reply. Then I can go, yeah, that's interesting you say that. Thanks for letting me know. But so here's what I actually specialize in. And then of course I have my pitch for the call.
That's really good, because if I got a reply like that, I would feel like I've got them on the hook, so to speak. I mean, I would feel like, oh, this is warm, this is good. Often what I find is like people just can see right through it and they're like, yeah, sorry, not interested.
Yeah.
But if I got like a nice, warm, curious response like that, I'd be like, this is gonna be, I can get this,
Exactly.
So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you feel like somebody is really just, and actually that's actually true. I'm just asking why they're not running ads. I just want to know. And then they can tell me how, like we burned, nobody has said that, but I'm just making up examples. Somebody could say, I burned 15K on Facebook ads. Then you can go to give you a potential reply on that. You can just say, that's terrible. If you like, jump on the call and I can let you know exactly the mistakes you made, what you should change. And hey, by the way, this call is free. It's just a consultation. Just so that even if you say, hey, I have no plans on doing this again next few months, you just know what to do next time you start running ads. So like you take away or you say like resistance, friction in this moment and just be like, genuinely, let's jump on the call. I'll let you know exactly what to do better next time.
yeah, this is interesting. This is like so smooth because you're kind of like saying, hey, what's your problem? And you're coming beside them and you're like put your arm around them in a way, saying, hey, I can help you out, my friend.
And you know what I guess it reminds you of
It's
as well?
smooth, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
And
like
what
this with ladies. I mean, man, you know.
well, I mean, unfortunately, neither you or me, we don't have to do that
No,
anymore.
no, exactly. Thankfully.
But you know what's great about it is that it goes back to this doctor mentality of like, hey,
Yeah,
what's the problem you have? Where does it hurt? I can help you fix that.
yeah, pain.
Yeah, and people, if you go so soft, people respond to that very well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I did. I will write it down for you in like an A/B test, and you can give it a go and see where it goes.
Yeah, no, for sure, absolutely. It's often it's funny because when you look at like the simple things there, you just automatically overlook, and you just put a bit of energy into the psychology of it, and you can think, yeah, this is I don't know, it just gives you like a bit of a feeling like this might work, kind of thing. I mean, I've watched a few videos online about the psychology of outreach and stuff, and it's really, really interesting, and it's something I'm trying to learn more about because it makes a world of difference. You don't need to write that much. You can just have very condensed, specific, like
It's
as an example.
if I have any rules that I almost religiously follow, that is one when it comes to cold outreach. It's I think about SMS when I grew up because nowadays I don't really use SMS anymore. I guess almost no one. Or like nowadays you can say X, like Twitter length of a post, which is what, like 120 or something like that is limited. So I think of it like almost like 2 sentences. It's like, hey, this is what I'm doing and this is why I'm messaging you and this is my question. Best Marvin. That's it.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you respond to that? And now let me spill the beans on like something I learned recently, which is this is genius. Yes, I almost like stand up from my desk right here and applaud it to watching the video training. What's even better is at the end of your email you just type send what does it say, send from my iPhone, which of course is not true, but it makes it look even more of a private and like spontaneous message, not like a cold outreach.
Okay.
That's like ultra ninja.
Yeah. And what do you think that portrays to them, that you're just doing this like on the fly, kind of thing?
Yeah, it's like, hey, I literally just found your gym and I'm just checking gyms for marketing research, and I just found your gym. I was just wondering, you have an amazing foundation to run paid advertising.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, why haven't you done that? I see in my data that you're not running any ads. Why?
Yeah.
So like it shows them, hey, this is just a guy who maybe he drove past the gym even, because you know that, right? When you get such a message like send from my iPhone, it tells you that, I think, subconsciously. It's just you don't see the intent of somebody selling you if it's just sent from a phone really quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you're not like, in an office behind a computer picking up a master plan of how you're going to take their money.
Exactly. So, and you can even do this at scale, because if you were thinking, wow, like that's very tedious work of picking 20 like hand-picked businesses and messaging them. Listen, you can do the same approach and go big. So you can go and scrape emails and not even check any of their info. Like, I mean, you don't check their website, but you still send them this message regardless, because I mean, why would you really care? Even if they run ads, they may get back to you and say, oh, actually, we are running ads. Maybe you didn't check on TikTok, we're running ads, but hey, to share this with you, it's not really going well. And then you can still reply and help them, like it doesn't really matter if you have checked the website before. So to explain to you how you can do this at scale, you can still scrape emails, and then it goes to the next step, which is you create one account, send 20 emails from this account, open a second account because it's free. You can open 50 Outlook accounts if you want to. Of course, at some point, maybe IP based, they're going to ban you. But guess what you do? You use the 25 top best free email providers. As you know, there are so many out there. You will never run out of free email accounts, is what I'm saying. So this is actually even free to do at scale. And then you can even employ someone as VA, train them on a video how to do it. So you see, even that is scalable.
Right. This is really interesting. I think this is something I will implement straight away, actually.
I can see it in your face. I can see
Yeah,
you're like working through. Wow, like I do it this.
I'm so excited. No, it's good. It's great. I actually, and I was thinking, in terms of getting these, like scraping leads and things, is there a specific way to, let's say, you know, I mean, I know we've discussed this before. I know there's scraping tools and different things, but is there like the best way to get the highest quality leads in a way? Because some of these services are just a bit rubbish and a
Yeah,
share.
I watched a YouTube video recently on someone who he basically tested like 8 or 9 different lead scrapers, and he sent messages to a sample of the data, and then he's a guy who runs an agency as well. So then he actually wrote down I think the inbox rate and stuff like that, or at least bounce rate and stuff like that, and then to like determine which one currently is the best. Here's the problem. Well, as you know, on every of these platforms, you can scrape data from almost any industry. So just because you picked one piece of the data, it's not really representable for the entire page. So no, this is really hard to answer and to determine. What I usually say is this one that's like Lead Gorilla or like D7 or both.
Yeah.
But if you do your research, there are like 15 or 20 different websites just for agencies for this.
So I was thinking, because I've got Sales Navigator, you know, and I think you can scrape the contact details of specific decision makers like directors rather than
Yes, you can.
And also I was thinking to myself just now, maybe there's a way to like have a prompt through AI to sort of generate on autopilot that message for the emails kind of thing.
Yeah.
Obviously without looking like it's done that way, but I mean, just to save time. I'm just thinking I'd have to think further, but I mean, maybe there's a way of doing that kind of so it can populate quickly.
Yeah. I mean, even if you, because always when I explain these things, I want to make sure that I start from zero, because it wouldn't make sense to really, from my point of view, to think about stuff that like all of the strategies cost money to do, because then it's kind of pointless. Because I want to, of course, teach the most motivational way is to really go, hey, if I had $0 to spend and just time, and that's the only resource I have to invest, how can I use it? So that's why I want to say, even if we were to just do this on your own without spending any money, you could send 100 emails in a day from like just the 5 accounts you create. Easy.
I think that's a good way to start, because I think what I do is I get ahead of myself and I think to myself, wait, this is going to take time. How can I make it easier? How can I do this in 5 minutes? So it's good on one hand, but also not always ideal, because it does cost money, you know, and it can get expensive. I was thinking if there was a way of having that one email coming from, you know, so it's not showing to everybody else, and then you can have that, you know, going to all these different emails. That would be really quick.
That's true, yeah. I mean, of course, there are certain ways afterwards to automate it. I also have seen people do it in a way that I think it's not ideal, but it automates the first response. And they will say in the email something like, if you were to rephrase the email and not use the one that I gave you as an example. So you're not asking like, how come you don't run ads? It's more like, there's this approach, maybe you've seen it before, where people say, hey, I'm curious, could you take another 12 clients in your dentistry in the next 30 days? And then they say in this first email, they say, for the response, please just type yes or no in caps lock. And then that's something you could easily automate with AI. However, of course, it comes across that way. I think people can see through that very fast.
Yeah.
And I think you have higher bounce rates, less replies. So I guess, I mean, my ultimate message is the same I portray in the coaching program, which is the more manual you go, the better the response is going to be, which is just natural. That's why we all try to be natural and human in the way how we construct this email outreach, or like any outreach really. So if you want to see this A/B split test, you can have a look in this description of this video. If you want, you can just copy and paste my approach and use it with your next email strategy outreach session.